Welcome to the Committed Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jody, and each week we're going to be diving in deep, covering all things that help you step up your game, master your mindset, and help you commit to creating the life you desire. So if you're ready for that, let's get started. Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode on the Committed Lifestyle. All right, first of all, you guys, sorry for my nasally voice right now. I got a little cold when I was back home for Thanksgiving, and it was totally worth it. So, sorry ahead of time, though, for the sniffles that you might hear. All right, so I'm really excited about today's episode. We are going to be talking about building trust and why it's so important and why it benefits both career and personal relationships. Guys, this is such an important thing to get figured out. Otherwise, everything is harder. You know, if we don't have trust with people, we struggle to connect, we struggle to make sales, we struggle to feel confident. And the great thing is that it's easier than you think to build trust with people. It's crazy how this one little topic goes so far in so many areas. And the way that it has an effect on our confidence, I think that that's something that a lot of people don't really give credit to, why building trust is so important to master. So first of all, how do you go about building trust with people? Well, it should always be your intention. If you want people to get on board with you, you need to be building trust with them. If you want your kids to listen to you, you need to build trust with them. If you want to have an awesome relationship with your partner, well, you need to build trust with them. And if you want people to buy from you, well, you need to build trust with them. All of these are relationships. And life itself is all about relationships. And just like I said, with your kids, you have that relationship with them. Well, it is, really set on the foundation of trust. Your marriage, your relationship with your significant other, it's more than just a relationship. It's really built on trust. And those things are very apparent. We know that. But what a lot of people fail to master is how to build trust with their customers, their clients, their audience, and anyone that's in a space where they want someone to buy their product or service from them. So that is why this topic is so important, because regardless of what you do for a living, this topic relates to you. But if you are in that network marketing business, direct sales, whatnot, real estate, this is so important to you. So make sure you listen up, because this has to be a greater focus for you for the rest of this month and for the new year to come, because we're 1 month away from 2020. And you have to be making this a daily mission of yours to learn how to build trust and to start implementing that into every relationship that you have. So let's go ahead and go over how to build trust and what your intention should be when going into any conversation. Sound good? Yeah, I think it sounds good. So we're just going to do it. All right. So most often people really make it about themselves and they forget about their mission because they so desperately want to fit in and be liked. And you guys, I'm so guilty of doing that in the past. I probably still do it in times I don't realize it. But this is majority of what people do when they're at home and they're working on their game plan and why they're doing the thing that they're doing. They think about, what it's going to sound like when they are in that moment and when they're connecting with people, and then they get to that moment and they forget it all because all they care about is wanting to fit in and being liked. And because people don't often have this at top of mind, they don't often build the relationships and the connections that they need to create the life that they want. And so again, we have to move this to a greater area of focus for ourselves. And, when we're in new social settings, this is where it really happens. And our this is where we want to be liked. We want to fit in. We just hope that someone talks to us or that we can connect with someone. But our to-do, whenever we go into a new social setting, should never be about ourselves, should never be about trying to be liked. But we should go in there with the mission of creating connections in such a way that people are more likely to want to engage with us, that, that we leave such a lasting impression on them that they want to work with us, that they want to buy something that we're selling because we've built rapport and trust with them. And so, it's so cool whenever you go into a new environment, and if you can just really set yourself up with that mindset of, okay, you know what? I know that I do want people to like me, but I'm not going to try to fit in. I'm not going to make this about me and how I look and how I think people are thinking about me. I'm going to go in there with the mindset thinking, who can I impact? What connections can I make? I'm so excited for the people that I'm going to meet because I can't wait to hear about them. I can't wait to hear their story. I can't wait to build a connection. I can't wait to possibly meet my new business partner. I can't possibly wait to land the biggest client that I've ever landed, to find someone that wants to, really grasp onto what I'm doing and become a great customer, client, whatever it is. That's the mindset we have to adopt when we're going into new social settings. And we should be going into those social settings almost on a daily basis. And that social setting could be in a variety of ways. So one, first thing that usually comes to mind is a networking event. Of course, people are going to think like that because that is where we go to directly meet new people. So yes, in those settings, 100% for sure. But think about when you go into doing your regular areas of life. When you go to the gym, you got to keep your eyes peeled for the new people that maybe you could bump into, that you do have a conversation with, even if it's just brief. When you go to the grocery store, this is a great one. It's so easy to start a conversation with someone and you never know what that's going to turn into. When you go to the coffee shop, if you go inside as opposed to through the drive-thru, be on the lookout for someone that, you can connect with while you're there. And on social media, you guys, this one's huge because this is where we can show up every single day. It's a new social setting. We might not directly be talking to someone and being able to interact with them. However, when we can be in this new social setting with new eyes getting on us from a new audience, then we can say things, we can portray ourselves in a way that is so authentic and that is building that trust with those people that are potential clients, those people that are potential business partners, those people that can be just the person that we're looking for. So we really have to go in with that to do of not to be liked, not to try to fit in, but to really go out there and try to connect and build trust and rapport. And you want to know what's really cool? When we start stepping into these new mindsets where we're going into our social interactions with an outcome of having trust, building trust in mind, you want to know what happens? You guys, I love this. When you do, you start asking different questions. You start paying attention to people on a different level. You start saying things differently because you want to know what? You become curious about other people. You stop thinking about yourself. And you guys, this is so awesome when you really understand this, that this just is not about your business and how to make more money. But if you want deeper connections, then you go out with the intention to build trust in every relationship that you have, whether it's a close friend, whether it's your partner, or whether it's someone that could be a potential customer for you. When you go out with those intentions, you just learn to start caring about people in a different way. You genuinely learn how to care and think about them and not just think about ourselves, because it's so easy when the one person we know that matters at the end of the day is ourselves to constantly be thinking about ourselves. But it's so awesome when you do this because you just wow. It's my favorite word to use for this is juicy. Everything becomes more juicy when you learn how to build trust through those connections. All right. So when I go into a social interaction, these are my intentions. And this also, again, this includes how you show up on social media. So I've got two intentions when I'm showing up out there in the world. One, have fun, because life is short and we've got to enjoy it and make the best of it. And if we're not enjoying our life and having fun on a daily basis, then we're not fully living. So I know it's just so important for me to, whether I'm by myself or whether I'm going out there into the world, is to have fun. And everything, including life itself, is so much more enjoyable, because I don't know about you, but I don't know if you want to live a really like blah, woe is me, I'm a victim life. Or if you do, I guarantee you're crying inside thinking, I just want to be happy. And this is one way we can do it, is when we have this intention to go out and have fun. Okay, so intention number 1, have fun. Intention number 2, this is so obvious, build trust. You guys, let's get out there and build real relationships. We gotta build some real trust. Those are the 2 intentions that I have. So simple, so easy, fun, and beneficial. Okay, so here's a few things to think about when it comes to building trust. Now, this first one, it's not exactly like a tactic or anything, but it's more of a reminder that the most important thing with building trust with another is your congruence, is being who you say you are, is, showing up as a person that you say you are consistently. If you say you're going to do something, like send an email, a text message, a phone call, a sample, whatever it is, that you do it. And, it's really about being reliable and honoring your word. And I think a lot of people are trying to be someone else and portray something that's not authentic, because, again, this goes back to going into those new interactions. They want others to like them. And when we're not showing up as ourselves and we're being someone else that we think that other people want us to be, well, it just doesn't really work, because you're never really going to connect with them, because they don't know how to connect with you either. And it's just never going to work. So again, it's just really important that you show up and be the person that you are, that you say you are. You honor your word. You're a reliable human being, because a lot of people have really good radars for when you are fake. I mean, they know when you're disconnected from your true self. I don't know about you, but how many times have you maybe seen someone and they're talking and you're just like, I'm not feeling it. There's something about them. I can't put my finger on it, but it just doesn't feel right. Or maybe you yourself have been in a situation where you're talking and you're trying to play on this image of being someone that you think everyone wants you to be, or that you think that maybe you want to be, but you're really uncomfortable in it, and you're just kind of wearing this mask kind of. Well, afterwards you're like, wow, it just wasn't really super passionate about that. That just felt kind of funny, but maybe it'll get better. No, it's actually because you're not being authentic. And when you're congruent and you're consistent with yourself and your word, you'll attract the people and the relationships that you're ultimately going for. So I encourage you to ask yourself, are you truly being yourself? Are you living in alignment with who you desire to be? That's just a question of congruence, and really go deep with this, because again, like I said, people have a radar for fakeness these days. And if you want them to trust you, you got to get this figured out. How you show up on Monday should really be how you show up on Friday. People want authenticity. It's the reason they love your company. It's the reason they love calling you a friend. It's the reason they love following you on social media. The reason they love working with you or buying from you, or, all those things. And so we know that when you're not congruent with who you really are, it increases your self-doubt too over the long term. And when you're just more congruent with your values, with yourselves, and with your word, you're more successful in life. It's proven. And you have greater levels of influence. So really just stop thinking that you have to be somebody else for the world to love you, because you don't need the approval from anyone else for you to achieve and grow and be successful. The best thing you can do is just approve of who you are. own your unique qualities, own your quirks, own your annoying habits, and be proud of that. You guys, I am a total goofball. I have really random things about me that I know are annoying, but you know what? I own that and I kind of make fun of it. And that's just who I am. I love dropping F bombs. I totally own that. And I'm not always going to be that prim, proper woman. I'm respectful and responsible, but hey, I like to say things that a lot of people don't like talking about. We'll talk about peeing, pooping, farting, things that are very weird and awkward to talk about. I will drop F bombs because I think that they're funny. I say things that people aren't, usually like ready to hear come out of my mouth, but I own that because that's who I am. And I think that's something that gives me my uniqueness. And you might think it's awkward or you might think it's really rude, but you know what? It's who I am. And if you don't like me, then that's okay. I still love you for you being you. And so I encourage you to own those things about yourself and, other people's approval. When we try to seek that, it'll just leave us feeling empty and feeling lost. And I think those are two things that none of us want to feel. All right. Thing number 2, when we are talking about a few things to think about when it comes to building trust, is people trust experts. There's something about competence that goes a long way when you're building trust with people. When people gauge you as being competent, meaning you're informed, you're knowledgeable, you're capable, you have skills that allow you to be good and be great at doing what you do, and it's on display, they're more likely to trust you. So if you sell a product, for example, think about your product. If you are giving a presentation or talking to someone about it and they ask you, a question and you can't answer this basic question about your product, it really doesn't make you look good. And I'm not saying that you need to be a know-it-all. I'm not saying that at all, but you need to have knowledge. So a lot of people think that, competence is about intelligence, but it's actually less about natural talent or natural intelligence and more about preparation. So, think about it. If you don't prepare yourself for your meeting, if you don't prepare yourself with having learn about your product or your service or basic questions that you should have answers to, you look very unprepared. And I guarantee you feel unprepared. You got to be able to talk about your product, and you do that by studying, by knowing the basics so that you're competent in your knowledge of it. And you want to know what that does? That increases your confidence when you're talking about it. And that right there is how you build trust, is through that competence. And one other thing about that is if you don't talk about your product enough, you're not talking enough about it. You need to be known as the expert in your field. And when you're known as the expert, people trust you. And which means you got to talk about it. You got to talk about it to the point where you're probably even annoyed with yourself by how much you're talking about it. And yes, you guys, it is annoying, but you want to be talking about the product, the details, the highlights, the benefits. And if you're not, you're dimming your light and just totally just dork out about your area of expertise. And yeah, people are really going to get sick of it if that's the only thing you talk about, but they're going to know that you're passionate about it. And so it's finding that level of balance between dorking out about your product and having, the knowledge, the ability to just talk about it and why you love it so much, but weave that into making sure that you are relating back to your customer. You're thinking about your customer. You're thinking about the person you're in front of. And you know what? That person you're talking to, they might not want to talk about it. And so it's knowing that. It's knowing when to shut off the dork knowledge product mode and just go back into talking about them mode, right? It's finding that balance in there, being a human being and not just this passionate person who's super passionate and dorking out about all these things that they love about their product. But you do need to be doing that on a regular basis, because when you're the expert and someone hears that, oh, I need help with this, I'm just trying to figure out that. Well, you're the first person that comes to mind. And they're going to say, oh my gosh, I have to connect you to so-and-so. They are the expert in this stuff. They seriously know all about it, and let me connect you. That's why it's so important to be competent in this, is so that you are known as the expert and people know to go to you, and they don't just, because they're going to go to someone. It's either going to be you, or it's going to be someone else who's been putting out the knowledge and the expertise and the competence more consistently than you have. And my best advice is actually to add in some humor and make sure you don't make every topic just about your thing. I know I kind of said that earlier, but I really want to make sure that that is something that really gets set in your head, is make sure you have personality, and make sure that you listen, and make sure that you connect to others by asking them questions. But without a doubt, just make sure, you're a passionate expert about your product, and just don't be afraid to talk about it. And I guarantee you, when you follow those 2 little things to think about right there, you'll be building trust in no time, and you'll be seeing your relationships grow. You'll be seeing your bank account grow. You'll be seeing your business grow, and you'll be seeing yourself and your self-confidence grow as well. And you know what? That's what I got for today's episode. And that is my wrap up of how to be building trust in every area of your life. And I really just hope that you guys enjoyed that. I hope you got a lot out of that. And if you did, please share this episode with your fellow network marketing friend, with your fellow friend in direct sales, or just anyone that you think needs to hear this. I would just really appreciate the love that you guys give to this. And thank you so much for tuning in every single week. And if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. And just don't forget, we've got one life to live. And it is my mission and my desire to help you commit to living the life that you want, and to helping you making it as amazing as possible. And it is also time for me to go blow my nose. So with that being said, much love to you guys. Talk to you soon.